Here is another reading from the amazing book, The Prophet by Khalil Gibran. This is in the public domain, and one of the things that I love about this book is it combines a bunch of different philosophies and spiritual traditions from the East and the West, and I feel like it is a point for humanity to unite over these concepts. So after I read this, I'll provide a little bit of my personal interpretation of this wonderful chapter. This chapter is on love, and I believe that it can be interpreted on any level that you want to look at it. It could be like romantic love, love with your friends, all your relationships, family, and especially the great all-encompassing big love as something that is beyond all of us that we don't even have a full understanding of yet. So I think this chapter is really powerful, and without further ado, here it is. Then said Almitra, "Speak to us of love." And he raised his head and looked upon the people. And there fell a stillness upon them. And with a great voice he said, "When love beckons to you, follow him. Though his ways are hard and steep, and when his wings enfold you, yield to him. Though the sword hidden among his pinions may wound you. And when he speaks to you, believe in him. Though his voice may shatter your dreams as the north wind lays waste to the garden. For even as love crowns you, so shall he crucify you. Even as he is for your growth, so is he for your pruning. Even as he ascends to your height and caresses your tenderest branches that quiver in the sun, so shall he descend to your roots and shake them in their clinging to earth. Like sheaves of corn, he gathers you unto himself. He threshes you to make you naked. He sifts you to free you from your husks. He grinds you. He kneads you until you are pliant, and then he assigns you to his sacred fire, that you may become sacred bread for God's sacred feast. All these things shall love do unto you, that you may know the secrets of your heart, and in that knowledge become a fragment of life's heart. But if in your fear you would seek only love's peace and love's pleasure, then it is better for you that you cover your nakedness and pass out of love's threshing floor into the seasonless world where you shall laugh, but not all of your laughter, and weep, but not all of your tears. Love gives not but itself, and takes not but from itself. Love possesses not, nor would it be possessed, for love is sufficient unto love. When you love, you should not say, "God is in my heart," but rather, "I am in the heart of God." And think not you can direct the course of love, for love, if it finds you worthy, directs your course. Love has no other desire but to fulfill itself. But if you love and must needs have desires, let these be your desires: to melt and be like a running brook that sings its melody to the night. To know the pain of too much tenderness. To be wounded by your own understanding of love, and to bleed willingly and joyfully. To wake at dawn with a winged heart and give thanks for another day of loving. To rest at the noon hour and meditate love's ecstasy. To return home at evening tide with gratitude. And then to sleep with a prayer for the beloved in your heart and a song of praise upon your lips. So I have to reread my favorite line from this again, when it says, "Let these be your desires, to melt and be like a running brook that sings its melody to the night." And what I love about this is it kind of amplifies that metaphor of love directing your course. And so it's just really all about surrender and melting. Like melting to me makes me think of uniting with things. And that's what true love is. It was when you let the separation between you and the other things dissolve. And then in the first chapters, all of the references to pain with love, I think it's really easy for everyone to relate to that with romantic love. And if you've ever been in a relationship that's long enough or that you've grown from, you see how the deep pain does cause certain growth that you wouldn't see otherwise. I literally just pruned my little apple tree in the back the other day, and I felt bad as I was doing it. I cut the branches, but it's true. The pruning of the side helps it to grow up and into the sun rather than into my house where, it's a fire hazard if it's too close to my house. So thinking of, the greater love, the godlike love as being for our growth, and that the pruning, like the pain that we go through, is actually for our growth. And if you take this interpretation to life in general, it makes suffering much more palatable because it's easier to understand. If you've ever been an athlete and trained extremely hard, you know that the suffering that you go through in training, you can kind of transmute it over time. You get used to the pain. You grow to understand that the suffering is for your good. And I think the same is absolutely possible in life as we suffer ourselves and watch other people suffer, instead of resisting it so much, to just melt like a brook, melt like water into it and embrace it and be present with it. It transforms. When we try so hard to avoid the suffering, it's like the part where he says, you will laugh, but not all of your laughter. Because when you choose not to follow the way of love, which includes suffering, then you don't get to fully experience life. But if you can really fully experience your suffering and fully experience someone else's suffering, then you're experiencing life to the fullest and the magic happens and you start to feel higher levels of joy than you were before. It's just an essential part of it. It's an essential part of our growth. It's an essential part of achieving heights that we didn't know were possible. And that's what life has for us, what it can do for us. I have one more favorite line, which is, it's this part. It says, "All these things shall love do unto you, that you may know the secrets of your heart, and in that knowledge become a fragment of life's heart." I love this line because I think it speaks very directly to the meaning of life. So the meaning of life being experiencing these things, experiencing love to understand the secrets of our heart, which could mean both just our personal truth in this lifetime. And if you believe in multiple lifetimes, which I never did, but as I'm starting to listen to some near-death experiences and look at different traditions and really listen deeply to the stories around me, I'm starting to entertain the idea that this could be true. So if you believe in multiple lifetimes, the secrets of your heart could also mean, things that we know in our soul that are beyond us, that we seem to forget every time we're in, this realm, if you will, but secrets of love, of things beyond that. And if that doesn't really make sense to you, I encourage you to go just give a little search to near-death experience and make sure it's a legit one, which there's plenty of legitimate ones. There's doctors who actually study this phenomenon and have real data on it, so you can also listen to that and to the commonalities between them. But one commonality is when they leave their body, when they die, they experience a love that is beyond anything that they've ever been able to articulate and is all-encompassing and is like, I've heard one person say it, which reminds me of the 4 agreements, where everything is loving them and they are loving everything, like the nature, the trees, the grass, people, beings, all things. It's just this big communion. And that's what this line reminds me of, especially that last part when it says, and in that knowledge become a fragment of life's heart. Meaning that our experience in this life, what if it's just a piece of the bigger picture that we're so connected to? I sometimes like to think about quantum theory, with the invention of quantum computers happening now. I've started to try to understand exactly how this works. And that's also worth a search because it's fascinating to understand. But basically, this is very real. Scientists have figured out how to use things as small as an electron, so things so small to explore a problem. It's the difference between a current computer and a quantum is that a current computer tries solutions one at a time, and a quantum can try all the solutions at the same time. And to me, that's almost a small metaphor for potentially what life is, the bigger picture. If we're a fragment of life's heart, then maybe we're just all these, I hope this makes sense. It's as if we're taking all the possible paths in our various lives to become a fragment of this one solution of life's heart. And that's grasping a little bit, but to me, it kind of makes sense. It makes it all make sense, because I think anyone who's ever had a profound spiritual experience where they feel connected to everything around them, or you could go watch Jill Bolte Taylor's video, her TED Talk of when she had a stroke, and all that was left was the right hemisphere of her brain, where she felt like she was literally melting into the walls. She was one with the walls. I think this is a very real phenomena that could possibly speak to the meaning of life. Now, I will always go back to this wonderful quote by Rick Rubin that I'm going to butcher this. I wish I had it in front of me. The more we can embrace the fact that we know next to nothing, we know almost nothing, and the more we embrace that, the happier and better our life will be. And not only is that true that we'll be happier, but it's true that we know next to nothing, and this kind of humility allows the mystery of life to unfold for us without labeling it so much. I love the story of two practiced meditators, maybe two Buddhist monks, who were sitting and looking out over the horizon together, and they weren't saying much. And then one pointed to a tree and said, "They call that a tree." And they both burst out laughing, because to such experienced meditators, to label something as purely magnificent as a tree was ludicrous. And we do that with our arrogance when we try to define things and we try to define life and we try to explain it. It is so much wiser and better to just say, we don't know anything. Why try to label it? Just experience it. Let it unfold. Have a beginner's mind all the time. Have beginner's eyes as if you're seeing it for the first time. That is so much wiser. So, more chapters of this wonderful book to come in the future, but I am just scratching the surface of all the content in here. So if there's something that hits you, please leave a comment with something that you pulled from this. I'd love to hear your thoughts as well. Sending you so much love.